Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk. We are going to be bringing you live to the processional for Austin Schwank, 19 years old, who was fatally shot at Camp Lejeune earlier this month. Horrible situation there. The body of that Marine is returning to his home of Lake County. There is a processional, as I mentioned, that's been taking place, and we're a few miles out from them arriving here. But for those that are unfamiliar with this story, we have a story that our Colton Molesky did a little bit ago. We also have our Caitlin McCarthy who was on the scene. And before we get to Caitlin, I want to just put this refresher story in there, and then we will get live to Caitlin out there in the field.
Austin Schwank graduated from Riverside High School just last year, went right into the Marines, and now he's the center of a shooting investigation. Officials at Camp Lejeune identified the 19-year-old last week. According to the Associated Press, the shooting happened in the barracks on base. One Marine is in custody, and the Naval Criminal Investigative Service is looking into the incident.
I chose the Marines for the simple fact that it will give me the discipline and leadership that I believe I will be able to use later in my life.
Here he is last year at the Riverside Military Signing Day. Schwank adds in his speech he chose the Marines because of his father, another Marine.
And he's always given me a reason to look up to him. I always look up at him as a role model for a father figure that I would love to be one day.
In a statement, the school district said in part, quote, "He was a tremendous young man and will be greatly missed by so many. Our heartfelt condolences go out to Austin's family and friends." Now, this is a developing story, so continue to come back to our newscasts and our website for more updates. In Painesville, Colton Molesky, 19 News.
Now, with the processional comes people that are going to show their support, be out there. This is a really emotional time for not just people that knew him, not just friends, not just family, but for the community itself. And our Caitlin McCarthy has been on the scene there talking to some of these folks. And Caitlin, I overheard you talking a little bit to a Marine who very moved by this and felt the need to show their support. They didn't know him, and I think that's really important to kind of stress here. This is more about just knowing the person. It's about showing respect.
Jeff, that's right. This Marine who fought in Vietnam says being a Marine is a brotherhood. And he said no matter how old they are, how long they've served, it was important to be here for Lance Corporal Austin Schwank and his family as they grieve during this tragic time. Now, we understand that the procession coming from the airport is just a couple of miles away, so they should be here any moment now. We're outside a funeral home here in Menor, in the same county where Schwank grew up in. And as you just heard from our colleague Colton Molesky, Schwank talked about wanting to become a Marine because his father was a Marine, and at such a young age, he was dedicated to serving his country. Now, I want you to take a look at how many people are out here right now for Austin. You can see there's about a dozen veterans lined up over there by the driveway where they're going to be bringing Austin's body in. We have about a dozen community members here as well in support. The funeral home runner Sandon Dietrich here in Menor is lined with American flags. And it's a very somber scene right now. But a lot of people out here want to show their support for this young man and his family and friends during this tragic time, but also a way to show their thanks for his service. At just 18 years old at Riverside Military Signing Day, he was excited to become a Marine just like his father, and going off to Camp Lejeune to start his military career at such a young age and such a profound impact at just 18, 19 years old. So we can see more people are starting to come here to the funeral home to welcome him back home and where he's going to be laid to rest later this week. On Saturday, there will be a public memorial service for him at his alma mater, Riverside High School. It starts at 10 at the high school, but we'll have all that information on our website as well so the public can attend those services. Jeff?
Yeah, Caitlin, the funeral home you're at, I think it's really important to remember this kid's 19. And that's why going to Riverside High School is such a big part of this. Is it just that side that you're on where you're seeing most of the people, or are there people on the other side of the street as well?
Yeah, we see mostly people here kind of gathering in the parking lot and outside the funeral home. We're just a couple of miles away from Riverside High School, and they definitely made a stop by his alma mater. And what's really touching is that, they're going to have a public memorial service there for him, but that is likely a place where his goal of joining the Marines, just like his dad started, signing proudly on signing day to join the military. And we've been talking to a lot of veterans here, and they're moved by his service at such a young age.
All right, Caitlin, we will let you go here, but we're going to keep this shot up as we wait for the procession to start. We wanted to start this early. We wanted to make sure that you could see it in its entirety. So Caitlin McCarthy, thank you so much. Of course, we'll be waiting for your report tonight on 19 News at 7:30, 10, and 11. We will continue here, following along with this shot here that we have, photojournalist and of course Caitlin McCarthy out there. What we are going to see here is going to be the processional following the arrival of Austin Schwank's body. It's truly an awful situation. And for those that are just joining us, for those that just jumped onto our digital stream here, I want to remind you of what got us ultimately to this point. The 19-year-old was fatally shot at Camp Lejeune earlier this month, brought back to Lake County today. He was a 2022 graduate of Painesville Riverside High School, and now you can see the flashing lights as the processional continues its way to the funeral home. I will stop talking. We will take a moment. We will view this processional again. 19-year-old fatally shot at Camp Lejeune. The processional continues with friends, family, members of the community. You can see them stopping traffic and allowing them to come through here. So there's public visitation that's going to be held from 3 to 8 on Friday, November 3rd at Brunner Sandin Dietrich Funeral Home and Cremation Center, which you are looking at right there. It's going to be a public funeral at 10 a.m. on Saturday, November 4th at Riverside High School. That's going to be at the field house. Just an awful situation. You feel for the family, you feel for the friends, you feel for the young life that was lost. And there goes the casket of Austin Schwank, 19 years old. Again, we will have much more on this tonight on 19 News, 7:30, 10, and 11, but that was the processional from the 19-year-old who was shot and killed at Camp Lejeune earlier this month. Much more on this and the other stories of the day tonight on 19 News. As I said, Caitlin McCarthy will have her story at 7:30, 10, and 11, so we'll see you then. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson, 19 News. Have a great day, great night. Much more to come, both on air and online.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung